What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing, of course, a transfer update. So before I do crack on with today's update, make sure, like always, if you haven't already, then do subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. I'm going to keep you up to date with daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout all of the summer transfer window for you guys to enjoy. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. Also, don't forget as well, social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And lastly, most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I'm always interested in what you do have to say with regards to these transfers. So let's crack on with this transfer update. We don't have too many stories to get through, so we're just going to dive right in, and we've got an update on Samuel Edozie, and this is starting to turn into a little bit of a headache because who knows what's happening. Now, Benjy Nurick at the Southampton Daily Echo says that Southampton, they're not trying to hijack Bayer Leverkusen's bid to try and sign Samuel Edozie from Manchester City, and that is despite the ever-reliable Fabrizio Romano reporting that that was the case. Kicker yesterday were reporting that Leverkusen was struggling to close the deal. There was interest from other clubs, and that was thought to be Southampton, yet sources close to Southampton are saying that that isn't the case. However, I'd be very surprised if Southampton aren't interested, considering how many Manchester City young players they've been going for this summer. So I don't see why Samuel Edozie would be any different for them. So I'm waiting for further clarification on this, because reliable sources at one end are saying one thing, and then reliable sources at another are saying a completely different thing. So life very confusing when it comes to Samuel Edozie and what is happening with that. But of course, like always, I will keep my eyes and ears open with any of the latest developments with regards to that, and when we do get any progress being made on that from Southampton, if that is to be the case, or Bayer Leverkusen, then of course I will bring that to you guys first and fast. So that's the outs sorted. Let's move on to the ins, and we've got a big update on the future of Marc Cucurella. Now, Andy Naylor over at The Athletic, he's Brighton's correspondent for The Athletic, and he is reliable with information for Brighton, and he says that Manchester City's low opening bid was seen by Brighton as a way for Manchester City to try and unsettle their player, to try and force a quick agreement to get this transfer to happen. Brighton are not going to let that happen. Their stance is incredibly simple and incredibly clear. If Manchester City want to sign Marc Cucurella this summer, they must pay £50 million. Now, Fabrizio Romano has broke some news today and said that Manchester City have now got an agreement in place with the player and his representatives for personal terms. They're not going to be a problem. They're all done and dusted. Manchester City, from that, what I'm reading between the lines, is that City must be confident that they will get this deal done. Now, do not confuse this with me saying that I think that this transfer is going to get done, because this is an incredibly complex transfer. This, to me, is very similar to Harry Kane's transfer last summer, and I'll speak more about that in just 1 minute when I've got through all the latest information for you guys. But this is the biggest hurdle, is agreeing that fee with Brighton. Personal terms aren't a problem. I wasn't expecting them to be a problem, so this comes as absolutely no surprise to me. But the big hurdle that City need to get over is agreeing a fee with Brighton. Now, Fabrizio Romano says that Marc Cucurella, he's unhappy at Brighton. He's dreamed of working with Pep Guardiola. He agreed to come to Brighton and a move to England in the promise of him helping him towards his goal, and his goal was to play for a big English club, and that opportunity now has come knocking on his door, and Cucurella wants to sign for Manchester City, but he's fearful now that Brighton are going to prize him away from that move. It's going to be priced out of it, and he's not going to be able to join Manchester City this summer, and City will look at other alternatives and sign somebody else. And if that is the case, then that's the end of Cucurella joining Manchester City, and that could be ever. So the opportunity is there for Cucurella to become a Manchester City player. To me, if he wants to join Manchester City, because there's just no chance at all that Marc Cucurella hands in a transfer request, and because of that, Man City are going to find this transfer very difficult. If Cucurella does hand in a transfer request, and that puts the ball into Manchester City's court, because it means we can go in with a bigger bid than £30 million. They could even up that by £10 million and meet Brighton halfway and say, your player's unhappy, he's handed in a transfer request, we're negotiating, we're meeting you halfway, here's a fair offer, £40 million, and Brighton may come to the drawing board and say, well, we'll accept £40 million plus some, or £5 million in add-ons on achievable bonuses, and Man City might say, fab, we'll agree to that. Or it could be a case where Man City say, actually, that is still too high. I don't actually know, whilst Man City have bid £30 million, I don't actually know what Man City value Marc Cucurella at as the maximum value that they're prepared to pay for him. So there's lots of just little nuts and crannies here that just make this transfer so difficult. And I don't think Cucurella doesn't seem like the type of person that's going to hand in that transfer request. And that, to me, is what makes this so similar to Harry Kane from last summer. That transfer request never came in. Man City had no problems getting them agreements in place in terms of personal terms. City were confident of getting that transfer done. City were willing to meet Tottenham Hotspur halfway. However, Spurs, like Brighton, have their value. They're not going to budge on that, and because of that, City aren't happy to pay that price, so they're going to potentially walk away. Now, I'll tell you right now, this deal would be as simple as the Nathan Ake deal, where we ask for a price, and if we're happy to pay it, we would have already have paid it. So I'll tell Brighton right now, if they think they're going to hold out and get £50 million from Manchester City, that is not going to happen. It may drag on, but it will unsettle the player, but City will walk away if Brighton won't move on that £50 million. So do Brighton want an unhappy player? Do they want the cash? Are they going to maximise it? What way is this transfer going to go? It's very interesting now. Agreement in place with the player. Can an agreement be found between the two clubs to make Marc Cucurella a Manchester City player this summer? I am expecting this to go on for the next couple of weeks at the very least. But of course, I will keep you guys up to date first and fast with all the latest Manchester City transfer news, as well as all the latest on Marc Cucurella as well. So if you haven't already, do make sure you have subscribed. Now closing in on 27,000 subscribers, less than 600 subs away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. I will keep you up to date with all the latest Manchester City transfer news on YouTube this summer, every single day. Go-to guy for the latest Manchester City transfer news, so make sure you have subscribed. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries, leave a thumbs up as well if you do enjoy this video. 500 likes, that's the aim. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. And also, don't forget, like I said, most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I'm always interested in what you do have to say with regards to these transfers. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.